You're parents of 3 now.
Yeah.
What's been the most challenging part about that?
Oh man, you know, I think a lot of people were like hyping me up, like 3's really hard, like, you know, like be ready, it's really hard. And so far, I'm like, it's not that hard. But our kids are just really easy kids. Like, yeah, they're hyper and energetic, but like, I'd rather have hyper and energetic and outgoing kids than boring kids who don't want to do anything. I think the hardest part is giving everyone their own time. Like making sure, like, okay, I need to put away 30 minutes a day and play with Scarlett when Atem's napping and Coben's at school. So then that way, you know, it's her and I, just us.
Yeah.
But it's hard because, you know, we have a little baby and he's with me all the time. So I think that's what I'm really adjusting to.
What are you over
I
here?
think that's the only challenges that we face, just because he's still little, he's very fragile. And we got to make sure that we watch out for Coben and Scarlett.
Yeah.
You know, but aside that, there is no extra thing that I can say we haven't faced with Scarlett, because I wasn't there with Coben at that age, but I was there with Scarlett. So yeah.
But 3 hasn't been that hard yet.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Just like I said, like
it's just another one.
Yeah.
Just another one.
Yeah. Well, Atem.
Yeah.
So peaceful.
Oh, he's the best baby.
Yeah.
I tell him all
He
I said we could have
sleeps.
7 of him.
Really?
Like he is, he is
Be careful what you say.
I know. No, he really is the best. Like
Yeah.
he sleeps and eats and he's awake and just watches his like siblings play.
Well, he's 2 months.
Yeah.
I love his name. Whose idea was it to name him Atem? What inspired
That
it?
was my idea. I've lived with so many people in my life growing up. So I live with my best friend's family, and that's like the family name Atem. And they've done a lot for me. And like almost like 10 years ago, I'm like, I'm gonna name one of my sons just to say thank you guys for what you guys have done for me, you know, because I'm pretty sure without them, I won't even know you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a big argument between us because I was not set on the name right away. Because, yeah, Kobe immediately was like, this is what we're naming him. And I'm like, whoa, like, hang on. Like, I don't feel the name.
I even told her before she got pregnant.
I know, but I wasn't
long
feeling
time
it.
ago.
Yes, and I wasn't feeling it. I was like, no, I don't think that's the right name. And like, I fought him on it. It's the only thing we really had fights about ever in our marriage.
Because I don't insist, you know, I hardly make
That's the
decisions.
thing. He was like, that's what it is. That's what we're naming him. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, first of all, you're not gonna like demand I name him this. Like, second of all, like this is not
Who
happening.
named
But
Scarlett and Coben?
She named Scarlett.
I only named Scarlett. Yeah, don't even start me with Coben's name. That's a whole other series right there. Coben's name.
Yeah.
No, but I named Scarlett, but he didn't fight me on Scarlett. And then later he's like, I didn't even like the name Scarlett. And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me that. You didn't voice it to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when he was born and we found out we were having a boy, we had agreed on Atem and it felt right. And then I was like, okay, the baby was conceived in Cameroon. So we wanted a Cameroonian name, so it all kind of laid in place.
Votre femme là-bas et puis voilà, sa mère, voilà, le père.
Tonight, at my dad's house, there are just so many people here. The relatives, my siblings, and relatives' kids. So there's just so many people.
It's been so exciting to watch you go home, Kobe, and you take your family home with you for the first time. What was it like for you to be there and to look at your side and see Emily and your babies there in Cameroon? What was that like?
Honestly, it was a dream come true. Like, I didn't know when or how we're gonna be able to do that, taking into consideration that money was on the line, you know, but at one point in time, my dad is getting old. I just felt like that was the best moment for us to take the kids before we have another one.
Yeah.
I didn't know how that was gonna happen, but thank God that, you know, we decided to make it happen.
Speaking of your dad, seeing the pride on his face. Oh my goodness.
My dad he was super happy that.
Yeah. Well, and it didn't make it on camera. Remember off camera? So he had been sick for a while. And then when we came, oh, it was so sweet. When he came, he was like, I'm healed because I met you and my grandkids. And like, I feel like healthy and young again because like I physically get to touch you and hug you. And like, it's in French, but he's translating. We're all crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like I love you.
That's about to make me tear up. Because the older I get, the more I realize family is so important, especially the people who have come before us and who have done the work for us to be where we are today.
Yes.
And to see him playing with Coben.
Oh, he was so
Smile
proud.
with so much pride.
Yes.
It was so happy.
All right, well, Kobe, your friends,
Oh.
they had their feelings about Emily.
But I'm happy. Like, I wanted to bring you all out to show you how fun I can be.
But you know something? Mostly when a wife and a husband want to invite us, they invite us in the house. They'll come and get a dinner, come and eat.
But I don't have a house
I'm
here.
surprised that you can't bring us in the nightclub.
But I don't have a house here. If we were in America, I would invite you over and make you food.
I see you guys are living in an apartment. You're in an apartment.
Well, it's like a hotel.
We actually have a viewer, Caroline, who says, I would like to know how difficult it was for Kobe to know how disrespectful his friends kept being to his wife.
I will not say you're bad, but I will tell you, like, we Africans, we grade situations like this. I for one, grade it bad.
Did you see it as your friends were being disrespectful to Emily?
I can say disrespectful to my wife. It's just a cultural thing, you know. It's just like if they get to America and see the lifestyle over here, somebody will say, oh, it's very disrespectful over here. But as time goes on, somebody who has traveled to Africa and see how things are being done is going to understand that this is a cultural difference. And I was like caught up in the middle where I try to mediate with my friend and my wife. It's not like, my friends have played very important role in my life, and my wife as well has done the same thing. Nobody can ever take the place of the other. So I just have to try as much as I can to make them, you know, let's cohabit, let's find place, a common ground to stay together.
Yeah. And I understand that struggle a little bit of going home and bringing your new life home. It can be a struggle. But there were also some viewers who live in Africa who were commenting and saying they should have brought you to their homes and their wives cook for you and Emily.
In Africa, we have a style of doing a visit for the first time. What we expect from African women, from women in particular, you prepare food, you welcome us to come in.
They felt like that wasn't the best representation of the culture or the Cameroonian culture. So what do you have to say to those viewers?
I didn't really see that. I just thought that, you know, us going to a bar was something that they were going to discover how fun she is, how loving she is.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just backfired.
Yeah, and it was his idea. He's like, yeah, you should invite him out to have a drink. I'm like, okay, great. And then it like completely backfired.
So do you understand their issue with the bar? Look, in hindsight?
Yeah, I understand. It is very common that you want to invite your husband's friend, bring them home, like you should eat food and stuff like that. But I mean, we didn't have a home over there.
Right, so that's
We
what
were
some of
living
the
in a
viewers
hotel.
were saying is that they should have invited you to their home.
No, I agree with that. You know, I felt...
And Kobe is like,
I mean,
not saying anything.
Well, Kobe and I, like, we've had the conversation where he's like, they weren't disrespectful, but I'm like, I mean, they were a little bit.
But what you have to understand is, you know, mostly in Cameroon, we know that when a man talks, a woman sit quiet.
Yeah, but I don't do that.
You don't do that?
No, I'm an American woman.
But I think you have to learn about that. You have to learn. If you continue to do that, all the friends of Kobe will say you are bossy.
Like, they could have been a little bit more kind about it instead of attacking me. Because that's what it felt like in the moment.
Yeah, it felt like that. You know, even after I watched that scene, I'm like, holy crap, this was really intense.
A lot of us viewers just saw it as potential jealousy or just disrespect for no reason, or just trying to find something wrong with the life that you've built.
Yeah.
And you know, with the alcohol in the system again, everybody
No,
just
you
kept
can't
going.
even blame it on the alcohol because that happened before.
I know you're still trying to protect your friend, and I respect it. How did Valerie react to the backlash? Is he aware of any of it?
He's aware. He has a social media account and he's seen some of the comments, but he said, this is not who I am. I thought I was just being open and, you know, playing how women in Africa, in Cameroon will react and towards women in, you know, America. He's getting to understand the cultural difference now. Like, okay, women over there are not like our women in Cameroon.
Because he's never left Cameroon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never left. So I feel like too, traveling, that opens your eyes a lot, like seeing different cultures. But when you're stuck in one culture, It's like that's so it.
Traveling is a school on its own where you don't have a teacher. Just by seeing things, you learn to understand that okay, there are people living in a different style than what we live.
Right, and it doesn't make them wrong.
Yeah,
because that was
exactly.
his thing. Is the way Emily is acting, it's not right.
I think you have to learn about that. You have to learn. It's not correct.
Exactly.
It's like
how Emily will also
true.
tell them the way they're acting is not right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a learning lesson.
Yeah.
For everyone involved.
And I definitely had a defense mechanism on, well, because once they were attacking me, and it was just me standing up for myself at first.
Come on, you know,
Then
I always have your back. You're my wife.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
You said that, but it took a minute.
It took me
I
walking
always
away.
have her back.
Took
She's
me
my
walking
wife.
away.
You know.
Yeah. Well, she's sitting here with a big smile on her face. So there's some
'Cause she
truth to
knows.
that. Viewer Miriam wants to know, why did Emily feel the need to try so hard to be on good terms with Kobe's friends and prove them wrong after the attitude they had toward her entire stay? Why was that important to you?
I feel like I've been like that my whole life. Like if someone tells me, oh, you can't do it, and then I have to prove them wrong. I'm not going to leave Cameroon without you liking me because I know we can get along. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of my, I don't know, stay there, I was just very determined because I'm like, you don't have the right outlook of me, and I want to prove to you that, like, you know, Kobe fell in love with me for a reason, and I know you guys could love me too as his wife, so I will not leave until
more to you
change
is just
their
because, you know, they're my friends, my close friends, and they mean a lot to me, so she's just trying to, like, to have that connection with them as well.
Yeah, that's a given.
And we don't live there, so I'm like, I don't want to leave Cameroon and you guys still not like me.
So that being said, how would you describe your relationship with Valerie and Kobe's friends now?
Well, you know, our son is named after Valerie.
Oh, wait, Atem is
Yes.
Valerie's last name?
Yep.
Or his family name?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What's up with you? I
was wondering why you didn't say that at the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we are on good terms, obviously.
Yeah.
But at first, you can understand why I didn't want to name our son.
And
Atem.
now I understand why you're so closed mouth about it. They've done a lot for you and your growth. Got it. I respect it. I feel it. There's a lot of understanding going on here. Do you watch the show together?
We do. So the first season we didn't really watch. We watched like the big episodes, like him meeting Coben. But then I was like, okay, this season, like it's so special because we're in Cameroon.
Yeah.
So we do. We watch it together.
Have the kids seen themselves on camera yet?
yeah.
They have.
What was their reaction?
They love it.
They
Most of the time
love
they'll be
it.
like, hey, that's daddy over there. Look
Or
at
Coben's
Kobe.
like, is that me? That's me, right? And I'm like, yeah, buddy. Like, and then the really cute part was when he saw his grandpa. And he's like, that's my grandpa. Because sometimes he'll get in trouble here and he'll be like, I want my grandpa. And I'm like, okay, we'll call Papa. And he's like, no, my grandpa in Cameroon, in Africa. Yeah, it's so sweet.
He would say that.
Yeah, and we FaceTime with them too all the time, and you know they get really excited because Coben's like, "That's my grandpa and my grandma," and so.
I know that warms your dad's heart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and now that we have another baby, they're like, "When are you coming back?" Like now, because when we left, it was so funny. They're like, "Okay, make another baby," you know. Well, we went to Myrtle Beach on a family vacation. I thought, am I late? I don't know. This was a month after we left Cameroon, and I took a test, and I was like, oh my gosh, we sure did make that baby in Africa, didn't we? So made in China, made in America, made in Africa.
Do you want more kids at this point, or are you satisfied?
Okay, so we've had the discussion. No, I want Scarlett to have a sister.
Okay.
Because I grew up with brothers and sisters. He grew up with brothers and sisters, and there's something about having a sister. You know, they're your best friend, just like your brother, your best friend. So we're gonna. Not anytime soon, but I like the 2 year gap.
We are open.
Yeah, all of our kids that have 2 year gaps. So I'm like, maybe once Atem hits 2, like we'll talk about it, and then you know if we have a boy, then we'll just try one more time.
Yeah.
It's not like we're fixed on like, okay, we are done, or we're gonna have one more. But it's a conversation we are really open to have in the future.